Some common sense has come out of the leadership of this country. A judge has ruled, temporarily at least, in favour of Elon Musk and free speech and against the censorious overreach of ACMA, the Australian Communications and Media Authority, who regulate this show and AEDT, scarily enough, so I'm taking a risk here saying anything, and Australia's E-Safety Commission, which sits under ACMA, and its overzealous Commissioner Julie Inman Grant. The federal court refused to extend a temporary order for X to hide videos of a Sydney terrorist stabbing globally. Not in Australia. Let that sink in. X had already geo-blocked the footage in Australia. They complied. It only refused to remove the footage globally, to take it down. Who do these petty power-mad bureaucrats in Canberra think they are? Oh, we can tell the whole world what they can and can't see. No, you cannot. And as I've said before, I've seen this footage, and it's hardly too graphic for adults to watch compared to a PG Hollywood movie. This is not a healthy balance for a liberal democratic society between free speech and public protection when you let a trumped-up bureaucrat start making rules like that.
You can and you can try, but you won't succeed. We won't be silenced, we won't concede. We've got our voices, now believe. No amount of censorship can bring us to our knees.
Well, we have a range of graduated powers. There could be civil proceedings and we could take them to court or we could fine them. Of course, the quantum of the fine would depend on the gravity of the non-compliance.
Oh, the quantum of the fine depends on the gravity of the non-compliant. Who speaks like that? Bureaucrats who have too much power, that's who. The quantum of this, the quantum of that. Anyone who says the quantum of anything, and she says that a lot, you should be wary of. Oh look, the quantum of water in my glass is starting to get low. Can someone please top up the quantum of water, please? I'm feeling a certain quantum of stress here, and the amount of the fine depends on the gravity of the non-compliance. Oh yeah, that's the kind of speech that authoritarians and lawyers use right before they, shuffle you off to jail for wrongthink. Under the Draconian Online Safety Act that was passed in 2021, thanks ScoMo, Julie Inman Grant has the authority to demand the removal of any so-called Class 1 material. And they'll define what Class 1 material is, of course. If a social media company refuses to remove that material, then massive fines can be imposed. And I mean massive. We're talking $750,000 a day. We have to ask ourselves if we're okay with this level of censorship, Australia. These laws need to be axed, in my opinion, and the entire E-Safety Commission needs to be dissolved. Why? Because as this case with Musk shows, they simply cannot be trusted to use their powers in a measured, restrained and sensible way suitable for a liberal democracy of free people. People were worried at the time that these laws were introduced about their possible abuse like this, and we were told then, oh no, they won't be abused. Only in the most exceptional circumstances will they be used. All the usual stuff that governments say when they want to shove through crazy laws, and then within a couple of years, bang, we've got this ridiculous case of a clear abuse of power. As Professor Ramesh Thakur of the Liberty think tank, the Brownstone Institute, wrote in a letter to The Australian this week, the most important lesson of the court victory for Elon Musk is it shows just how flawed E-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman Grant's judgment is. Think about this and then shudder at just how much power she has under our draconian laws to determine what we can and cannot watch. Then repeat the shudders at the realisation that Peter Dutton has supported the law and her efforts to own the internet. But get this, instead of arguing the case on its merits, the E-Safety Commissioner's lawyers made it all about whether or not extending the court order would make a mockery of the courts. I humbly don't think so. I think it makes a mockery of the E-Safety Commission and Julie Inman Grant. And I think that is what most upsets them. X's lawyer told the court that the company hadn't complied with the injunction because the Commissioner's initial takedown notice wasn't valid. Now we need to watch out because the Attorney General Mark Dreyfus has said the government will, quote, examine the court's decision. At least opposition leader Peter Dutton has now said that it's silly to expect global orders to be enforced. Thank God he's finally read the room on this censorship push. Ultimately, the law is meant to express the will of the people in a democracy via our representatives and interpreted by our courts. The only way you can express your will on this is to speak out all over social media and to vote accordingly at the next election. Peter Dutton would be wise to make a clear statement of commitment to remove the current e-safety commissioner for this absurd overreach and poor reading of the public mood, and to commit to bringing the powers of the e-safety commission back to its original intention of protecting children online, not censoring adults. A commitment to true classical liberalism from the Liberal Party and a real option to vote for would also be a nice thing to see for a change.
You care and you can try, but you won't succeed. We won't be silenced, we won't concede.
Are you accepting it?
We've got our voices and our beliefs. No amount of censorship can bring us to our knees.
Well, we have a range of graduated powers.